It is the last race of the regular season before the three-wide racing league RaceKings Cup Series playoffs begins. Anybody below that top 12 area must win tonight if they wish to be a part of the playoffs. Hello, everybody. Welcome to 3Wide TV. I'm Tanner Sharp, and the guy doing double duty tonight is Mr. Justin Cole. Justin, Richmond is a fun but can be difficult short track. Tell us about Richmond and your knowledge.
Well, my mic was muted for that, so there's the first mistake there. But this track is pretty interesting here tonight. Turn 2 can eat guys up in a hurry, and the front stretch is in a little bit of an odd position just off turn 4. But this should be a fun race for some of these guys tonight. For some that know they're in the playoffs, and for others just outside the bubble, it can be. It's probably going to be a little bit of gambling here tonight to try and get yourself in.
It most definitely is. And let's go ahead and take a look of the playoff standings. One more race until the RaceKings Cup Series playoff begins, which is going to be next week at the Milwaukee Mile. So let's take a look at that. What I meant by drivers outside looking in need to win tonight. Well, there you have it. Check that out. You got Chad Brown, who's in 12th place, 31 points ahead of that cutoff line. Mike Stevens is sitting there with in 13th, 31 points back. And right now, I am kind of counting, let's see here, trying to count how many drivers are here tonight. I'm seeing a little more than 20 drivers here tonight, Justin. So practically, realistically, you cannot race on points anymore. You got to go for that win if you want to be in it. Otherwise, you're just going to be racing for honor and just practically going for wins from here on out if you're not in the playoffs. Cameron Rich with 6 wins with 26 playoff points, and those playoff points come at the halfway part, which we still remain green. We don't stop the race. Halfway bonus points will be given at that halfway marker, which is lap 100 tonight. So Mike Stevens, Wade Lear, Richard Hines, Corey Lindsay, time to get moving, man. If you want to be a part of that playoff, you got to win tonight. It's got to happen tonight, right, Justin?
Absolutely, and really, I mean, they kind of set themselves up at this point, maybe not having the races they've wanted throughout the season and kind of putting themselves in an unfortunate position, but definitely think if we get a late race caution at some point tonight, this race can get really crazy.
Can get really crazy indeed. And fuel numbers tonight, 75 laps approximately on a tank of gas. But really, Justin, whenever you come to Richmond, and I'm sure you know this because you and I have competed here before in three-wide racing, in the three-wide racing, is that fuel doesn't really mean so much. It's more like racing the racetrack and racing your competitors. And you talked about that turn 2 just coming up and just biting you. Why is turn 2 so hard to get off?
Well, really, it's almost like a placebo effect. It can be that way at Fontana a little bit too, I'd say. It's just you feel like you're good off the corner, and suddenly you're in the wall. You think everything's fine, and then all of a sudden your right side of the car is tore up. And I'm sure it's going to bite some guys tonight. Heck, it might even cause an incident here tonight. But turn 4 doesn't quite have the same effect, but also with Richmond, it seems like some guys are trying to move up the track a little bit. That's somewhat new here, I'd say, at Richmond. So I think tonight it's going to be a little bit of everything we're going to see.
Yep, a lot of short track action here, and what a way to end the regular season on a track like Richmond, which is significantly different than most racetracks we go to. The closest one I can think of is probably Iowa, but even Iowa has its own characteristic and challenges of its own. But right now, on top of the practice charts, Chuck Sweeting is on top of the board with a 20.874. We got about 5 minutes left until practice is done, and then we go forward into qualification for 5 minutes. Every driver gets 2 laps. Tate Lytle, who won the truck race last night in Kansas, he is down there with a 20.9, second on speed charts. Cameron Rich as well with a 20.9. Levi Zielinski was pretty fast as well in that truck race. Just couldn't find that top 5 area, but he's right now showing third on the speed charts. And, of course, Paul Ross, the last driver to be in the 20.9 brackets. Then you got Sam Close in 6th place. So relatively, the times are really close. Is track position going to be really big-time key here, Justin? Because I think it is. What's your thought and opinion about that? It's 200 laps.
I definitely think so. The track position is going to be key. This is a short track, not a whole lot of positions to make moves on. Obviously, into the corners and maybe down the front straightaway, if you can barely get your nose inside there, you can try and make moves. But, you know, you don't want to find yourself towards the back, especially maybe on the beginning of the race where, you know, maybe an incident can occur and possibly take you out early here tonight. And if you're one of those guys below the cutoff point who basically are hoping for a win tonight, definitely don't want to be in that position.
And also, folks, be sure to chat with us throughout the night on www.youtube.com/3wide Racing League. Be sure to look us up and get involved with the chat here tonight, discuss about the race. I'm sure I'll look back here and there to see what we're all talking about. And another thing to point out, if you see my last name Sharp on the ticker tonight, I am not driving, I am in the booth. I did a mistake. I normally don't make a mistake like that, but I made a mistake. I actually joined the actual session instead of us being a spectator. So ignore that. But nonetheless, we're getting down to it, to the end of practice. During practice time, Justin, what do you usually focus on during practice? Do you focus on qualification trim to try to go for that sexy lap time? Or are you a driver that wants to try to conserve tires a little bit and maybe kind of prepare yourself for a long run? I don't know if we're going to see a long run tonight because, again, this is a short track. What do you prepare yourself in practice for?
I like that. Sexy lap time. Well, I mean, throughout practice, you have an hour. So, I mean, I'll put an example like last night when you and me both ran the truck race. I don't get to do a whole lot of iRacing, but normally what I try and do is just get a good baseline of how the track feels, how I can get around this track, and maybe if I have some confidence, try and make some mock qualifying runs, just see how well my time stacks up to other guys, and at that point, if I feel confident with everything, just go out there, have some fun, and maybe just run some laps and get some more familiarity with the track.
I always spread the word that qualification trim is always different than race trim. And it's definitely going to be different in practice trim. Yes. But practice trim, I don't know how you can really kind of relate between race and qualifying, because you can practice both or one or the other in the practice time to improve something. But for sure, qualifying is going to be different than race. I mean, I kind of spread that word last night in the truck race, where I saw you and I technically kind of started in the back. I started 18th. And I was already up to about 9th place in the first, 15 laps of the race, because a 100-lap race last night. So, I was just trying to, buy my time a little bit and trying to stay out of trouble. And that's what these guys are going to do. These guys are going to be up for a tougher task, because Richmond is not a 1.5-mile racetrack. As you said at the top of the show, Justin, it's a 3/4-mile racetrack, 14 degrees of banking in the corners of the track. The bottom is going to be the preferred groove. Turn 2 is going to be a nail biter coming out of it. A lot of drivers struggle, and I'm seeing a lot of spinouts on corner exits, so that might be a big factor as well. So we got about less than a minute until practice is done. Looking at speed charts, who are you liking here tonight?
Looking at the speed charts, and I'll have to ask everybody to excuse me for a second. Have to do some refreshing of trading paints. Was a little bit busy before the race here. Obviously, our man Carlos Costa, usually in the production truck, in the hospital night, and wishing him well, but doing double duty and having to make sure that everything is good here. But speed charts tonight, Chuck Sweeting is actually a little bit of a surprise there, as well as Tate Lytle. They've been running pretty well as of late here, later in the season. Obviously, Tate getting the win at Indy and Chuck getting the win at Kentucky. No surprise there. Cam and Rich, Levi Zielinski as well, but Tate Lytle, I think I'd like to say, is a guy I like up there. Kind of showing he has speed everywhere we go here.
Normally we would do a grid walk, but I think it's a little late in the practice right now. A little bit out of the ordinary because Carlos isn't here. We wish Carlos the best since he's not with us tonight. But nonetheless, maybe if we can, I don't know if you're able to, Justin, a little towards the end of qualifying, maybe we can hop into something.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you're able to do that because you are doing the double duty tonight. You're the director and as well as helping with commentating tonight. So
we'll try and
right now. Let's just focus.
We'll try and get the full effect here tonight. Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's see what we could start off in qualification mode because qualifying is starting right now on screen. Number 33. That is going to be Mr. Jordan Teal coming off turn number 2. Right out to that wall. He maybe gets, he gets pretty close to it. Down in turn 3, get to the bottom. Don't go below that yellow line. The car can snap loose on you. Off of turn number 4, wash out to the wall without hitting it. I think was that his opening lap or no?
I believe that was his opening lap. Well, he said a time, so I guess that was his first time lap.
Jordan Teal with a 21.260. He is not the fastest. He's currently 7th fastest right now. David Wilson, number 39, is currently the fastest qualifier right now. Seeing some more lap times being posted. So far, nobody has been able to dethrone David Wilson. David, according to this, is a rookie. In case anybody is wondering, I will mention it again during the broadcast. But if you see a star right next to their name, that means they are a rookie in this field. Mike Stevens, outside looking in, 13th on the playoff grid. It is not enough to be in the playoffs, but he's going to have to go for broke tonight if he wants to be in the playoffs. That Coors Light Toyota. And then he's going to stop his qualification time. Bring it into the pits. That's only good for a 12th place qualification start for Mike. On top of the board so far, Chuck Sweeting, 20.896. Fastest in practice and fastest in qualifying so far. But again, we have some big names who hasn't taken a qualification lap, such as Cameron Rich. I do believe he just took a qualification lap. Cameron, where did you go? I got to find him now. Number 17. Where did he go? Oh, he didn't take a qualifying lap yet. Johnny Thomas has yet to take a qualifying lap. Truck winner from Kansas last night, Tate Lytle, has yet to take a qualification lap. Corey Lindsay does not take a qualifying lap at the moment. So far, so good. We'll kind of give it another minute before we may possibly do a grid, a little bit of a grid walk here. We'll have to do one quick though. What we got on screen, Justin?
We got the 56 of Tate Lytle at the moment, and I want to apologize for that little incident. The ticker kind of broke there for a second. Have to learn this as well, but currently 7th at the moment.
All right. I'm trying to find where Chuck Sweeting is. I'm not seeing him in our Discord here. But nonetheless, there's Levi Zielinski.
Currently running, it looks like his first timed lap, Levi is.
What was he in practice time? He was in 4th in practice.
And he will go to the top of the board here.
Oh, man. All right. That's the case. And, oh, yeah, he's going to quit his qualifying. So, hey, Justin, before we go to the grid here, before they line up, let's go down and talk to the Rebel Racing guys here since Levi is on the pole.
Yes, sir.
All right, this is the quick grid walk right here. We're standby with Levi Zielinski and Dylan Hickey. How you fellas doing?
Good.
Doing well.
Levi, you got a pack of hungry guys chasing after you. You going to hold them off tonight?
Gonna try to. One of my favorite tracks, and Only got to wait 20 more laps to get 1,000, so that's what our goal is tonight.
Dylan, you gonna win?
Extra bonus points.
Probably not, but I'll be rooting on Levi.
Don't give up, buddy. Don't give up. All right, let's go to, well, we're going to have to go up to the booth here because the grid is starting. Best of luck to the Rebel Racing boys.
Thank you,
guys.
All right, that was a very quick deal right there. We'll see if Dylan Hickey can get the victory lane tonight. Levi, I bet you Dylan Hickey's going to beat you tonight.
Yeah.
Probably be mad at me and message me on Twitter for saying Dylan's a good guy. I mean, he's been pretty competitive as late, so don't count on Dylan Hickey. Plus, he drove the truck race last night. All right, nonetheless, let's bring it to the grid here at Richmond. 200 laps tonight. Levi Zielinski. Congratulations to Levi for getting the Drive for Suicide pole award. Chuck Sweeting will start in second spot. He's been the fastest guy here tonight in practice. Let's see what Levi can do to hold him off. David Wilson's going to start in third. Fourth place here tonight, Kevin Finn. Fifth place, Peter Short. Sixth place, Luis Salmaso. Seventh place, Paul Ross. Eighth place, Kansas winner from last night in the trucks. Tate Lytle will start in eighth. Sam Close will start ninth. And Richard Lafferty rounds out the top 10. You can get there, Justin.
Yes, sir. Matt Hackthorne going to start just outside the top 10 in 11th here tonight, and Rusty Webb will start next to him in 12th. James Duke will start 13th here tonight, and Mike Stevens will start 14th. Johnny Thomas will start 15th here tonight. Chad Brown 16th. Kyle Hanshaw will start 17th. Jordan Teal will start 18th. Richard Hines will start 19th, and Cameron Rich will round out the top 20 here tonight.
Blackjack position is going to be Mr. Dylan Hickey for Rebel Racing, teammates to Levi. And Cameron didn't take qualifying time. And don't ignore me. I'm not in this race. That is Tanner Sharp in 22nd, but realistically, it's going to be Brett Miller 22nd. 23rd is going to be Corey Lindsay, and Steven Kettman 25th. Actually, it's going to be 24th, not 25th. So 24 cars are taking the green flag here tonight. Don't you guys wish I was driving and commentating at the same time? I promise you it'll be rated R. All right, nonetheless, here, Levi Zielinski's on the pole. Justin, you want to pick a winner and your final thoughts before we go green?
Well, got a lot of fast cars here tonight. Mentioned David Wilson starting up there in third. You know what? I'm going to put my money on David Wilson here tonight. He's a rookie who's shown a lot of speed, and I'm thinking he's going to get to victory lane tonight.
Chuck Sweeting, right here. I have to go with the fastest guy in practice. Could have, should have, would have been the fastest guy in qualifying, and he more than likely will win the race. He's shown the speed to be up there. And by the way, we're not going green this time around. We're going green next time around because less than a mile of a racetrack. They do 2 pace laps, so we're going to come around and do our final pace lap and go green next time around here at Richmond. It's going to be some exciting stuff here, folks. I'm telling you what a way to close out the regular season. We've already seen some craziness this season. Cameron Rich getting 6 wins. Paul Ross going for a few wins here this evening, or in this series. Levi Zielinski goes back to victory lane after a long dry spell. He could do it again here tonight. So nonetheless, they're coming off turn 2 right now for the final time on the pace lap. There's going to be a blue cone at the exit towards turn 2. You have to follow that blue cone there, or the blue line. Make sure you don't get on the racetrack before that blue line comes. Otherwise, iRacing does black flag you. All right, here we go. Under the lights at Richmond Raceway. Put your seatbelts on, hook up your steering wheels, and because we're racing at Richmond.